Ooh. Welcome to SNN episode 7. Real shit going on in the world right now. Stupid shit. As you know, I know. Or as you know, I believe. I mean, if you're totally with it, then you're with it. So, to get into the news, I wanted to start with straight propaganda outlet. You know, CNN was a great propaganda outlet for the establishment. Of course, during the defense of the deep state in many respects during the Democrat years and even the first Trump regime. But now they are state propaganda. The ones cheering on the war more than anybody. I can guarantee that. So, let's look at the state propaganda, see what we think. Trump warns Iran faces strikes 20 times. Harder if the nation refuses to heed U.S. warning. And they're not going to heed the warning. So, yay, we get more death, destruction. This is what we voted for when we were saying no more wars. We were all just fucking around. You know, we when we said no more wars, we were just like, except for Iran. You know what I mean? And Venezuela, you know, if we kidnap a president, you know. And you know, basically Israel's saying stuff about Turkey too. Maybe even that, because, you know, when we elected Trump, we unwittingly and unknowingly elected Bibi Netanyahu, war criminal. He is he's you know, the trial in Israel is suspended because of this war, and also he's wanted by international courts too. What a moral man. And you know, a lot of Jews do not like him representing them, but you know, just that's what you're told you have to do. And even if you are a Jew and you say you don't, then you're anti-Semitic. You know the world you're in, right? You're in fucking clown world, and that's what you will be told. So I might as well be the one to tell you. I'm not going to tell you why. I know it's bullshit, but what you're going to get. So, Iranian Kurds form alliance. Trump reportedly reaches out to opposition leader. So he's already trying to, like, you know, form his own government in a country he doesn't have. On a war that he didn't get congressional approval on. Because make America great again. You remember that slogan? Because America, make America great again. And by doing that, we need to select the regime that goes into Iran next. We were so good at selecting the regimes of all these other countries that we fucked up. So I guarantee this time it will be better. Because it's Trump, the guy who lied to us. So I'm sure it was a noble. Kidding. Just kidding. Life. Trump disappointed in Iran's choice of new leader. And then he describes his pick. I mean, you know, when you attack a country and kill shitloads of people, you should be disappointed in the population for not wanting who you want to be in control, you know? I mean, if, say, Putin were to attack us today and say, I really want this pro-Russian guy in America, you know? Like, it's basically kind of just, like, you know, who the fuck are we to choose our own leader? And who are we to be upset that we got attacked? We should just submit, get on our knees, not to Allah or God or any of that, but to the Zionist, just woke bullshit, okay? Not in the interest of Christians, not in the interest of Jews, but yet sold as a religious talking point. Zionism, how old is it? Not even 150 years old. The ideas have been around a little bit longer, but like the actual implementation of it and everything, yeah, about 120, maybe 125. give or take a couple of years. I know I'm not off by much. But, you know, it's just great to know that, you know, Trump is saying he's going to strike 20 times harder. It's just good to know that because we voted for that. I mean, all those anti-war people were like, you know what? I think I'm going to vote for Trump. Even though he's a dick, I'm going to vote for him because, yeah, I just don't want wars. I just don't want foreign problems. I think we're just too much Middle Eastern involvement. And then we got this. Are you happy? Are you happy? And I don't blame you, by the way, for voting for that because we had a different option here. I mean, what was our other option again? Kamala? Oh, for fuck's sake, bro. I mean, I'll just say it. Republicans are fucked, but I would rather probably have corrupt Mexican cartel leaders on the ballot than Democrats. Okay, because at least I doubt they're gonna go after the kids. Okay, they might sell drugs to the kids, and I still think that's less bad than the perverted shit. Okay, I'm not saying, I'm not defending it. I don't like it, but I'm just saying, you know, the lesser of two evils, as they say with elections. In this scenario, I think Democrats are still so horrible that I would prefer probably like a hardened criminal over them because they're criminals too, but it's in a different way. It's in a very, very perverted way, and it just never got better. You know, they were never satisfied with gay marriage being legal. It had to just keep going more and more, and then they put their own flag. They want to probably replace our flag with the gay flag. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Like Joe Biden says, come on, man. Like, come on. Seriously. I mean, Democrats, you don't look any better. Just because the only thing we can say is that you're not Trump and you weren't the one who installed this guy. So yeah, true. But how much of Congress's APAC money? Like, it's upwards of 90%, I'm pretty sure. So that means lots of Democrats, Zionists too. That's the poison. But as I said before, we're occupied. But it's a good thing. No, it's a good thing. I mean, why the hell would we want our interests taken care of? You know? There's a little country, small over there. And they're saying they're doing it for all Jews, although, you know, you can look at, like, you know, certain groups in New York that are actually burning Israeli flags that are Jewish. And they're just saying they reject Zionism and that, you know, going to war and being in a military is against the Holy Torah. That's what they say. But, you know, they must be anti-Semites, even though they look exactly like Jews and they're, you know, wearing the same hats and look just basically like Orthodox Jews. But, you know, they must be crazy, you know. Woo. Oh man. Just sorry. We're so beneficial. The benefits of just bombing all these people. Woo! And they have oil in the air, and the oil's going up. The price of gas is going up. Trump, the economy, the one thing you had in your first term, bro. What do you have now? What do you have now? A bunch of loyalist supporters who are brainwashed by you. And I don't know why. Why, dude? If you're really an outsider, and I'm not talking to Trump, I'm talking to the people who support him. If you really love him so much, and if everything I'm saying is so horrible, then explain why he said no more fucking wars and then he went to a war. Are you going to say, oh, because he said Iran could never have a nuclear weapon? Prove. And where did he give any evidence at all that they were closer to a nuclear weapon? In fact, he said last July that they completely took it offline. They bombed it already. We're good. It's the 12-day war. What day war is this going to be? 5,000-day war? I don't know, man. Just, how can it? It's embarrassing. I see it is embarrassing, but you know, I'm looking at Fox News right now, and I'm a little bit more worked up, I guess, because it's just the state propaganda. Let's go to just a different news source. Something different. Let's get really, no, I don't want to get that pissed. I'll just go to NBC. You know, they're terrible, but at least they're U.S. terrible. I was about to go to a source outside of the U.S. That's just terrible too. Whoa. What the hell just happened to my shit? I feel like NBC almost broke my phone right there. Trump says Iran war will end soon, but also issues threats that could prolong it. Yeah, it was like him saying like this is not going to be a forever war, and then it's like, oh, we have enough munitions to go on forever. Which is it, Trump? Which is it, Trump? Can't be two things at once, man. I know the propaganda's high, but which one is it? Which one is it? It can't be both. It fucking can't be both. You either want this war forever, or you're just threatening to say we could go up forever. That's what the supporters are going to say, because the supporters try to spin everything, just like Obama supporters, and get so insulted, Trump supporters, because you're acting like Obama supporters. You're starting to treat this guy like he's a god, like they did with Obama. I don't know why. Look, he's lied. He lied, bro. Can we say promises kept? Remember those fucking signs? You're gonna put that out there? What promise of going to war in Iran did we have? Only unless you're a Zionist, and only unless you're completely in a cult, or just you have your head in the sand and you're just very cautiously optimistic, are you still supporting this fucking guy? I mean, as president, I want him to succeed, but I don't want him to necessarily succeed in a conquest. I just don't want. I want to make America great again. His fucking slogan. His slogan. That's all I want. What's wrong with that? That's what he said. That was what he came out on. You know, his whole first term, he didn't have all these people funding him. Now they're funding him, and now he's doing all this shit for other countries. You swore an oath to the Constitution of our country. Does that mean anything to you? No? No. Okay, so just the flag of Israel. That's it. Just remember, every time you remember when people saw the, Trump with the flags of hugging the U.S. flag, just edit in the Israel flag now for the second term. That's what it is. It's sad. I actually thought this guy was going to be like, I'm not saying he was going to save the fucking day. I wasn't like the Q-tards out there. But I just thought he was different. They were going after him. He's going to be anti-establishment. He's going to come hard. They tried to arrest him. Now what? Now what is he doing? He hasn't even faked a fucking arrest over the swamp. None of the swamp is gone. The swamp is now his friends in his ears telling him what to do. He didn't drain them, dude. He did not drain them. He brained the swamp. He put him in his fucking head. Heck, man. I don't know. This is everything he debated against in the 2016 debates, by the way. When he was in the Republican primary, he was talking shit on these stupid forever war, regime change wars, everything. Can you deny that, Trump supporters? I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I'm not trying to... Look, I know the liberals are worse in so many ways, but they didn't get us into a stupid-ass war. That's going to raise the price of our oil and gas. They were funding a stupid-ass war in Ukraine that was raising the price of our gas and a lot of other things. This is going to make it worse, man. It's not just we're giving money for the war. We're also taking hits. Like, their drones are destroying our stuff that we worth millions, perhaps billions of dollars in that region. Does that matter to any of you? Does that matter to any of you Trump supporters? I wondered. But, Q, trust the plan. Trust the plan. Trump will save the day. We're only in year 6. There's still 2 to go. He started a war. Don't worry. He has a plan. He's doing 5D chess. Remember these guys saying it? As I said, and as he said, actually, he admitted it, he has a window into the future too. He knew that Iran was going to strike our bases. Although, it was funny how the other day he was like, I was surprised that they struck neighboring countries that were kind of somewhat neutral. Like, dude, that's the whole premise of why you started the war, is you thought that when Israel struck, they were for sure going to strike us back, which didn't happen last year. Propaganda is so terrible in this war, you didn't even try. You're just like, fuck it, we're going ahead. We're so unpopular, it's not going to work, we don't care. And Trump's going to take the biggest hit of his life, and in terms of his political career, and tank. His popular support is going down, probably worse than even George Bush's was, because George Bush was never really that popular. He didn't have rallies like Trump did. Also, he didn't have hate like Trump did. Now Trump's hate is evolving from his own base too, but also, even more from the idiots on the left. That not all of them are idiots, but a lot of them are. The fact that they weren't standing up to the insane, crazy ones is the reason why Trump got in. And that's what they need to get through their stupid fucking liberal heads. It's like, dude, we wouldn't have Trump here if you weren't if you weren't at least having, just making it very clear, hey, I'm a Democrat, but I don't support kids who don't even have who are too young to consent to be able to, actually permanently make changes to their body because it's based on how they feel. No. You didn't speak up then, so you can speak up now saying fuck Trump and fuck his supporters, but you know what? If you didn't speak up then you are the reason it happened, okay? You, and people like you. And those extremist positions that are insane. Amongst other things. I mean, don't worry, because you guys always do spending bills too. That's another thing. I don't really have to bring it up, but the amount of money you guys spend. Democrats love to spend money when we have... How horrible is our national debt? I don't even know. Like 37 trillion? Yeah. What day is bombs gonna be deployed on us and be like, you owe us too much money? And the Chinese just get mad. When's that gonna happen? It's gonna happen. But when? I don't know. Hey. It's a betrayal, but it is what it is. We're so happy. Instead of getting that extra tax money from the tariffs that Trump promised he would give us, he gave us a war. And then we're going to be having to pay more for gas. You looking forward to that, you guys? It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun paying more money for everything again. It was already fun. Mr. Good Economy came in and he fucking went to war. And now the economy's fucked up again. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. When this country turns third world, I don't know. But it seems like it's not a if, it's a when now. And it's sad. I love the country I grew up in, man. I loved it. I'm not being sarcastic about that part. I loved it. I did. I loved it, but look who's in office. And the worst part is that liberals are going to try to use this, and they're going to get back. And they're going to further fuck the country up more. Because we all know Joe Biden wasn't the real president. He wasn't the one who was in control there. And the same people will control whatever the next Democrat president is. God help us, might be Newsom, who already destroyed California. I mean, people fled California under his governorship. I'm sure under his presidency, people will flee the fucking country. So, yay. That's what we got to look forward to, probably, because Trump did that. He didn't have to. He didn't have to. He had people like RFK in his administration. He had people who were more known for not being conservative, and he still went the most neo-hawk fucking way possible. I expect Republicans to leave his party. I expect the people who, even people in his administration, to resign possibly after this shit. Such as an RFK. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying it will happen, but if it happens, you heard it here. This is just the stupidest thing ever. And if Tulsi Gabbard actually meant anything she ever said in her life, when she was getting popular, specifically on the Democrat debate stage when she was trying to be president in 2020, if she meant any of those things, then she won't be long from leaving too. She was very specific of being against regime change wars. He looked through the crystal ball into the future and saw that getting into a war for Israel benefited America. Or maybe it just benefited Donald Trump. I mean, maybe Jeffrey Epstein files were going to come out and it was going to make him look fucking bad. Maybe those files, this is the thing about Trump, and I think I've heard others say this, make this plea. But if you've done something fucked up in your life, the American people are way more likely to forgive you for that. If you just came out and admitted it and just said it, this is the blackmail they have on me. But you can judge me for what I've done in the past. I choose to redeem myself in the future and do what I said I would do and keep us out of wars. That's all he has to do. I mean, literally, if it's blackmail. If it's something else, I don't know. I can't even imagine what else it is, but it could be, I don't know. I don't know. There is this weird boomer thing about Israel where they just think that no matter who is the enemy of Israel, blow them off the map. They're a bad guy. Israel said they're bad, it's okay. And you watch these videos, and I used to believe this too when I was younger. Don't question Israel, but then I look at the videos of what they're doing in Gaza, and you just see pure fucking evil, being committed, and it's just kind of like, how the hell can you guys say it's a religious factor? We gotta go with Israel for religious reasons. I'm sure God is pissed when he sees what Israel's doing. Has to be. And what a lot of people are doing. But, specifically what they did in Gaza. No way he's happy with it. Okay? I'm willing to bet my eternal soul on this. Okay? I know that I'm not going to go to hell for saying that what's happening in Gaza is straight, pure evil. Or what happened. And what probably is still continuing. But they might be, a little bit overwhelmed to really target Gaza at the moment. Either way, just these people don't like us deep down. That's the thing. There's this weird affection of Zionists where they just love Jewish people. They love them so much. They go to Israel and then they get fucking spit on. And they're just like, yes, this is the Holy Land. I want to kiss a wall. I want to get spit on for being a Christian. This is what God wants. This is what God wants. And then you see, like, what real Ashkenazi Jews actually say about Europeans, where it's like it's inherent in their blood. They can't, no matter what they do. They're talking exactly like Black Lives Matter, where it's like it's you inherit the hatred for being an anti-Semite. Literally, that's a Josh Hammer quote. He said something similar to that, anyways. And like European inherited DNA, and you will always be anti-Semitic. It's like, no, maybe your behavior just makes people that way. And I don't have anything against Israelis or Jewish people. I see Jewish people who are against what your government is doing. And you'll ignore them to the end of time, but they're there. Okay? And I don't hate them, but I do hate the Zionists. Christian or Jewish. And I think there's more Christian Zionists, at least in this fucking country. So, it is what it is. And if you disagree with me, it's fine. And, I appreciate a lot of the feedback from my last episode. It seemed to get more than I've gotten in the past, and I do appreciate it. Mostly positive. I know there's going to be some people who disagree with me on this, but that's fine. I'm cool with it. I can take feedback, criticism, all that. In terms of feedback about my setup and everything, I know I need to get in. I need to move out of 2008 and get into HD monitor, but that's all I'm missing before I can just start pulling up news tabs such as that. Very simple thing, but I don't want to do that on a friggin' standard definition stream. But yeah, it's just a crazy time, and who knows? Maybe it'll be for the best. Maybe Q people. I mean, that's Donald Trump's only hope at this point of actually redeeming himself to the country and to people like me. To the people who actually believed in him early on, people believed in that message early on, the message that he has abandoned completely and now completely gone towards the people who he was arguing with on the debate stage in 2016 Republican primaries. You know, to get us back, the only way is if Q is fucking real at this point. Okay? And if there's some weird, crazy 5D chess that happens and ninjas come out of the sky, and then suddenly they're wearing a Trump wig, and his hair is very recognizable. So it's just an army of Trump people from the sky. And they somehow create peace between Iran, Israel, and Palestine at the same time. And I think Q said something, Israel's last. Then Israel will be exposed. The end. After all the resources been sucked out of this country, after our petrodollar is worthless, once the cities have decayed into shit, then we will reach the new great place for America, according to these people. Just it's hard to even it's hard to even be sarcastic. It really is. But maybe it will be great. Maybe just it we might get expelled from the whole region. Or maybe Trump's propaganda, I don't know whose propaganda is working. They're both propaganda, but I mean, I'm just seeing video evidence of one, and then I'm just hearing a person say another. So it's like going on a guy's word who lied in his whole campaign versus videos I'm seeing. But it doesn't look like Iran is slowing down. And, yeah, I don't expect this war to end very soon. He's saying it will, trying to calm the market because its popularity is going to fucking tank. Like I was saying, these, certain Jewish supremacists, they view European whites and pretty much everyone else as goy. We're goy. We're not human. We are animals. And that's how they feel. So I mean, do you wanna do everything for them? I mean, maybe Trump felt that way too. Maybe he was just like, I am just goyim. I'm an animal compared to Netanyahu. This guy knows what to do. He doesn't go to church. He doesn't even support that. He just believes in that. He believes that, you're not a Jew, you're an animal. I'm sure he believed that. But other than that, I don't think he really, pretty secular, it seems like. Here we go. And then they'll fund all these anti-white things, We've seen a lot of Israeli dollars going to Black Lives Matter. Remember Stop Asian Hate? That even happened. Where they were saying, stop Asian hate, and they were directing it at white people. And these white people were evil, by the way, because they committed 2 crimes. I've seen these videos of the Asians getting attacked. Not only did they attack Asians, but they did it in full blackface. Now, blackface has been very cancelable for a long time, but not one of these videos did I actually see them showing their white identity. They wanted to be in blackface the whole time. So I will say that is the one progressive cause that I totally am for, is stop Asian hate, because I mean there is some truth. They committed 2 crimes. They were wearing blackface. They attacked an Asian person. Both things subject to death, I think, under the new liberal or whether it's the liberal regime that'll get voted in or the Israel regime. I think either way it'll be the Israel regime, but liberals are more open and honest about wanting to be communist. Here we are. What a fun time. I'm hearing cheers in the background. Yeah, I feel like cheering. Clap. Yes, this is a good time for America. Good time. Good time. Yeah. Good time. Sorry, just head down and I don't know why my head's down. My head should be up. Happy. But occupied country that we are in. If we don't follow Israel, then we are sinning. Doesn't matter about winning. It's all about keeping it going. Keep the bombs exploding. Never stop it, ever. All these Middle Eastern wars are beneficial for none of us. Never. But we will continuously get involved in it. And we wonder why they hate us. It's probably because this, but it doesn't. Who knows? Maybe it'll be great. Maybe it'll be a pro. It would be a con. Maybe you'll mow the lawn. Maybe I'll go say stop with the bombs. Iran needs a new regime. Because the old one is kind of mean. That's what Donald Trump has deemed. He needs to actually be America first and redeem himself. That was a freestyle. Whatever. Truth though. He needs to redeem himself. The man needs to redeem himself. And I still believe our country is in distress because of the situation we are in. Hope it gets better. Doubt it. Until the war ends. And if it does end soon, then great. I will come on here and call myself a panicking. So let's just look at a little bit more news. I was kind of just riffing just on my thoughts there for a very long time there, but yeah. 5 Iranian soccer players granted asylum in Australia. Okay. Oil prices sink, stocks jump in dramatic reversals. Bullshit. Well, I will read the article though. You know, NBC, they're not very friendly to Trump. Stocks and energy prices stage a remarkable reversal Monday afternoon after President Donald Trump told CBS News that the war in Iran was very complete, pretty much. That's a fucking lie. I mean, yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Only a few more years, but it's pretty much done. A few more years, though. Couple years, couple months. Pretty much. I remember George Bush declaring victory at one point. And then the war went on, I think a whole nother... How many presidencies after him? I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Because the past is something we should forget immediately. That's what they want. They want us to have the memory of a goldfish. Trump repeated that message later today in the Florida press conference where he said the U.S. is achieving major strides towards completing our military objectives. Which, what the fuck are they? Oh yeah, regime change, which means it's going to be a pretty hard objective, I'm going to be honest. This was just an excursion into something that had to be done. No big deal. Just an excursion. It had to be done. And it's not a big deal, bro. I need to calm down my little heart. Shit. It's just a war. It's just an excuse. It need to be done. We need to bomb an oil field and have it to where it's raining black oil in Iran. That's what we needed. It's going to help having less oil in the world. Yeah. Just because I didn't like Soleimani, or whatever the fuck you say his name. I don't know. Why do we even know who these people are? We're in America, and our streets look like shit. And our homeless are suffering. There's veterans who are homeless. What the fuck? You're not doing anything for them? Taxpayers going on Israel. We already send them money, and now we send them life too. Lives. You can, like, something that should be, like, you should never put a cost on. We'll also give you that too. Why? Oh yeah, we're occupied by that country. Because AIPAC shows all the Congress. They don't show Trump, but you don't have to. You just look at what Miriam Adelson and Sheldon Adelson were donating to the guy. And then you realize he's occupied. Well, because you don't get money for nothing, man. You don't get hundreds of millions for nothing. And they paid for the regime change pretty much. Miriam Adelson paying for a regime change. But to be fair, they've been paying for our politicians for a long time, and a lot of votes that have just been undermining our constitution, uh, asserting Jewish supremacy, making it to where our own free speech laws prevent us from saying something against anybody, which is exactly what it's there for unpopular speech. And apparently, what's the most unpopular speech to a Zionist? It's something against what Israel's government's doing, and they're trying to literally forgo the First Amendment and do that. This is Mr. pro-Constitution Donald Trump, Republican, conservative. He ain't trying to conserve the First Amendment, though. And if he's not going to do that, then why would you expect him to conserve the Second? Why he already lied about so much. Why do you expect anything he says to come true? It's the way I'm at. But hey, we have to hold out that hope for the rest of our lives. Just hold on. Be a boomer that watches Fox News and just be like, no, it's good, I swear. Keeps getting worse, and my defense is so much worse, and all you gotta do is show videos of Trump saying literally he wouldn't do it. But I swear we're right. We're gonna win. Iran's so evil. Ew, they say death to America. Like, dude, I could say death to whoever the fuck I want right now. Death to fucking Jamaica, okay? Doesn't mean I mean it. And by the way, even if they mean it, doesn't mean I'm gonna do anything, and it doesn't mean they are a threat. Or am I a threat to Jamaica? Fuck no. I might want to use up one of their resources that are very common there. But that's about it. Not use it up. Just about an ounce a day. That's all. But, if I can't do that, then it's okay. I won't say death to them anymore. I'll move on to bigger and better things. Like Trump has done, obviously. He's done bigger and better things. Like, hey, I got a dictator. It actually worked out relatively well. Good. I think we're going to do this, and it'll work out. It's a long shot, but we'll do it. Didn't work out. And now he's, like, threatening, like, nuclear weapons and shit. Is that where you're going to go next? No. Symbolizing the heartbeat of MAGA. Oh, wait. Dead. The second, not of us, but of just Trump being in the leader of that. He's not, and they're attacking Tucker so much because he's probably the most popular person that still holds the principles of the original movement. I don't care if Donald Trump made up the slogan. What it means, he doesn't get to fucking change the definition. Okay, if he wants to move away from it. And move straight away, all the way to Israel, and do everything for their government. He will. Because he absolutely loves Netanyahu. He's not beholden to him at all. He doesn't do things like this to him. He doesn't say, yes, Netanyahu, mein Führer. He doesn't say that. No. But, despite all the lies that are said, well, despite NBC saying that the stock market did, relatively went down on oil, but gas prices are still way up. They're up 16%. Good job. Good job. And this is the whole world that's going to suffer too. It's not just us. Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? Isn't it fun in life? I don't know. Just a joke at this point. Gotta say it. But, woman identified in shooting at Rihanna's Los Angeles house. That's of big importance. Who's shooting at Rihanna? The fuck? Hopefully her umbrella stopped it. Suspect shot at Rihanna's home with the AR-15 style rifle. I mean, she must have just heard a Rihanna song and she was like, Ah, this bitch gotta die. I don't know why she would do it. I'm just trying to think, like trying to get into the head of someone who would, like what's going on. And this is what Americans are doing these days. They're just like, they want to drive up into a celebrity's property. They'll, bring their AR. I mean, it's not a good thing. But this celebrity worship culture that's been pretty much fed to us by Hollywood didn't help circumstances. It didn't help circumstances. I got to say. So, I'm going to get off NBC because they're full of crap. Nothing but crap. And, let's see what, I'll go back to Artie News. Because they just say real headlines. They're just like, this is what's happening, World's gonna fucking end. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's happening. Okay? They're real about it, So, okay. So, Trump calls Iran's leader a mistake. As Putin warns Gulf oil could halt. Fuck. Yeah, we need the Gulf oil to halt because we love to pay more and more at the gas pumps. And the U.S. president has warned that the successor to the Ayatollah will not last long unless Tehran bows. It doesn't just bow, it also gets penetrated anally. Okay? Because I'm sure they'll have to do oil deals and all this other shit too. It's not just about, hey, change your values and customs. It's also, we want your shit too, and we're going to take it. Remember Iraq? Like, soldiers guarding poppy fields in Afghanistan and people in Iraq getting lithium. Crazy. Or no, maybe it was Afghanistan with the lithium. I don't remember. Point is, resources were always involved. I'm trying to. Is this the only story they have on this particular one? So, apologies. I'm just trying to. Okay, so they're not showing any other stories at all. I wonder what that's about. Okay, well, yeah, RT ain't the place today. I'm trying to look for world news. Oh, here we go. I found their actual place where they show more than one headline. RT examines the history of U.S. strikes on civilians after Iranian school attack, and then it shows a video. Jeez. Sure, that doesn't make us look good. Maybe it does. We're humanitarian, that is, Maybe those kids were going to be criminals. I'm just kidding. I can't really make light of that. I can't. I can't even fucking, I can joke. But at the same time, I don't want to. It's not funny to me. Not funny because it's really happening right now. They just struck a school, bro. The fuck was that? At least admit we made a mistake. There was a position close by that had military installations, whatever. But they're like, no, we believe Iran did it. Why would what's in their interest to do that? A false flag attack for a war that was already started? Come on, you again, just say the truth. At least be enough of a have enough humanity in you to say you did wrong. And you still blame the other side when you did wrong. Don't know. See, I'm just sitting here analyzing it to the way I do, and sometimes I'm more sarcastic than others. I'm covering a war now, okay? It's not quite as comedic as I want to be. It's hard to be, and you're somewhat sick if you can be, but we do got to make light of other stories at the fucking very least. And The powerful women of the West have betrayed feminism, according to RT. I want to see what they have to say. Extensive reporting. Instead of challenging male power, the high-ranking ladies attach themselves to it like trad wives, like traditional wives, right? International women. Oh, do I want to read anything about this? Let's just see if I can sum it up. Read pretty quickly. Okay, so sum it up. People are waking up to the feminist bullshit. Yeah, it is bullshit. When feminists themselves start getting on board with men can be women, then what the hell is feminism anymore? Nothing. The Iran war risks sucking in more country. Who benefits? Who benefits? Just ask yourself who benefits. It's not people who happen to wear little hats. Yeah. Anyway, no, who benefits though? It wouldn't be anyone who wears small hats on their heads or anything like that. By the way, not all of them. I'm talking about the Zionists. Trump makes new threats again against Iran. This is what it is now. This is what the news is. Nothing but Trump and Iran. So talking shit, and that's what it is. But it'll be, unfortunately. I mean, we need to. So normally I'd be winding down. I want a different story to wind down on. I just want to find something that's not so fucking war torn. You know what I mean? And I think, oh, I think I might have found that. Okay, very similar to last week, and I'm not trying to find these stories. Shit. So, all right. The jury today convicted a Los Gatos woman, I think that's in California, of felony child abuse 4 years after she was charged with hosting drunken parties. Isn't this familiar? This is just becoming more normal, huh? For young teenagers, where she bought alcohol and egged on sex acts. Some with teens too drunk to consent. Too drunk to consent. Well, they're a teen, so they shouldn't be able to consent, at least to an adult. But I just want to simply, well, I guess you can be too drunk to consent. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I was about to say that that's not possible, but you can be. Yes, you can. But I'm just saying, a girl who takes 2 shots or something with you, and then she suddenly wants to do something, she cannot say shit about you took advantage. Just wanted to throw that out there because I've heard girls make that argument in my life, and it just reminded me of that. That's all. Anyway, anywho, Shannon O'Connor, 51, bought vodka and Fireball whiskey. Provided condoms and discouraged the teens from telling their parents or police about the parties or calling for help when one of the teens passed out in their own vomit. The teens at these parties were mostly 14 and 15. So she was a groomer. She wasn't herself a pedophile, but she was a terrible mother, just like last week, but not the kind that's like trying to like her kids are crying while watching her hook up with someone and she just can't stop herself. This girl is more like she just encouraged it with her son and his friends and invited over a bunch of different girls and gave them all excuses and just was very methodical in terms of like wanting these parties to happen at her house when her and her husband were away. Weird. And all for the sake of helping out her son. I mean, I guess if I was her son, I'd probably say she's the coolest mom on planet Earth. I gotta be honest with you. If I was her son, just because it's like, okay, you're like literally inviting over girls for me? You're getting them drunk for me? I don't even have to do the work? But still think that she's a sack of shit, you know, for what she did to all these people. I'm just saying, I was her son during that time. I don't know. I think later in life he won't appreciate it, but you know, at the time he surely probably did. I think. So I know it was not necessarily the most upbeat, great day for news. And I know I talked a lot of shit on Trump. I know. I get it. But he deserves it. He lied. He went back on his campaign promises. He betrayed his anti-party base or anti-war base in his party, and he also betrayed, just pretty much most. I'd say most Americans have been betrayed by Donald Trump because most Americans wanted the whole Epstein thing unraveled and people to get arrested. Most Americans wanted the deep state to get arrested, and if not, then they wanted Trump to get arrested. He has paved way for himself to get arrested, and he's not done anything to the people who committed crimes against him, which is very odd. Which makes me wonder if if it was all the show the whole time. But they've paved the way to arrest him, or at least impeach him. Why? Because he did all this shit without congressional approval. Which, no matter what we say about Bush and Iraq, at least he did that. At least he got approval. Stupid as that war was. But we're not boots on the ground yet. At least not, not saying that. Who knows? It's like them saying we're not boots on the ground in Ukraine, but I'm pretty sure there is some boots on the ground. Just a shit show. And we're involved in so many different conflicts that by the time, if anyone were to strike us, we're going to be left totally defenseless. And that's why it's just not in our interest at all. I don't know if I can really label this a comedy episode as much as I'll label it a political. I don't know. Don't care. But for the Sarcastic News Network, trying to cover a fucking war and be sarcastic and about it, hard. But just be a human through all this. No matter what, be a human through all this. We can say we want a certain winner or loser, but don't wish death and destruction upon innocent people. And I will say, to end this, rest in peace to all the innocents on all sides of this conflict that have been killed. For SSN, this is Alex Lee. I will see you tomorrow.